Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to this live stream where we are going to do a bit of chess training. And I hope that we are all going to have a wonderful time. It's going to be a training session on dynamic play by one of the most amazing chess trainers out there in the world of chess. His name is Grandmaster Aleksander Goloshchapov, and he is actually a very unique personality because he has played a role in creating 10 grandmasters in Indian chess. I don't know if the number has increased recently. I will have to ask him about it. But I think you all who are actually watching this live are going to learn a lot from this session. So I'm going to get him on the screen right now so that we can all learn from him. Hello, Alexander.
Hello, Sagar. Hello, everyone. So I'm happy to see you, and I'm happy to be part of this stream in 1.5 years. So we have a long break.
Yes, I
So
was. That's why I was asking: is the number still 10, or has it increased in any way?
yeah, thank you for warm words. And yeah, for the last 1.5 years, the number has increased to one more grandmaster. But
Oh,
that's also Indian. But this is the youngest grandmaster in history of Great Britain, who is
oh,
Shreyas
Shreyas.
Roya. Yeah. So our 4 year work ended with our grandmaster title quite recently. So
Okay, brilliant, brilliant. So we are going to have a very amazing session today, Alexander. It is going to be on dynamic play, right?
yes. Yes, dynamic play is one of my favorite topics because I feel that I was quite a dynamic player myself. So, and I guess I will be able to share my experience today with uh, all their all our audience. I believe there are many of my students.
Hmm.
It is a great opportunity to recall some important concepts we worked on during our courses and camps, and of course for those new students or new chess players, it's a great opportunity to learn something new.
Right. And there are also some prizes today. Can we tell the people so that they know at the start what they can win?
Yeah, I think everyone is motivated to learn and grow as chess players, but still, I guess some extra motivation wouldn't harm. So, just I want to make two prizes for the most active, players today. One prize would go to the students of my school,
Hmm.
and one prize would go to students who are not part of my school yet.
Okay.
So, I guess it will be fair.
Right.
So,
And the price is actually could be training sessions, like some training course from you and so on.
yeah, definitely that will be a very valuable price, which might be some mini course, some of my mini courses, or maybe some camp. So that's actually I will discuss individually and make it for you the most actual, the most valuable,
Most useful.
according to your current personal needs.
Okay, brilliant. That's wonderful to know. And we have more than 200 people here. So, guys, welcome to all, and get ready. You can write your moves in the chat. We do have chat chess moves as well. So, then your moves will get logged in. We'll be trying to read. I think Alexander also has the chat in front of him, so he can read
Ye-
your names.
Yeah, this time I have prepared better so I can see all your answers so that I will be able to assess your uh, participation during this class. So just do your best, and
Wonderful.
everyone has equal chances for a prize.
Okay, should we begin, Alexander? Should we go to the first position?
Sure,
Okay, there we go. The first position, is it white to play here?
it is white to play here. Okay, nothing to say. Just take a look at this position. You have a few minutes, no rush. So just try to discipline your thinking process. So, and we are waiting for your moves. But again, very, very important thing. Do not rush, because I see some people are in rush making bad mistakes already.
Yes, guys, try to be calm.
Again, I would like to say immediately that is going to be advanced class today. So just even if it looks simple, so please use blunder check before making a move, and check you play a classical game. It's not a blitz one, or at least rapid. Okay, today it is not classical game, but it's not blitz game either. So
Yeah, take your time and try to write down the answers. We have also this chat chess moves here. So Alexander, we'll get to know what are the moves being recommended here by different players. Do you think that people should write just one move, or they should try to write a variation?
preferably variation. And if you are my school students, I always ask students write some general considerations as well, maybe some try to apply some known concepts, right? Try to explain your thinking process. Okay.
Okay, so let me just show you the answers that have come in. We have Queen C6 check as one of the main moves.
Okay,
Yeah.
I guess let's not rush.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. No, not rushing. Yeah, all right.
Okay, see what we can do today so that it would be the most efficient in terms of learning. So just let me say a few words, because I never give our solution for free. I just try to motivate my students to think and to fix their mistakes, right? So, like, what is this position, right? You can see actually that our position is really double-edged, right? Black is a pawn up. Both kings are quite weak. But what is actually important to understand about dynamic play? And what is actually dynamic play? Let's ask our audience today to answer the question: what is dynamic play for you? Just write down what is dynamic play for you, right?
Okay, guys, what is dynamic play for you? What does it
Whatever,
mean?
yeah, whatever. If you can say,
Arvindan Selva says dynamic play is play that is very short term.
okay, good
Uh,
point.
Pratham Mulchandani says when there are a lot of imbalances.
Okay,
Then we have Mighty Knight who says playing attacking chess and forcing moves.
okay,
Dynamic
but
says a type of play which has a lot of ideas, tricks, and tactics.
yes, but there is something common between all these what you said. What is this common? For me, dynamic play, it is first of all a lot about time and energy. Time and energy, and also initiative, probably, right? So let's put it like this: time is precious, the value of every tempo is extremely high, right? So, and here I would like to introduce my concept, which I teach not only intermediate, advanced players, but I teach international masters and grandmasters as well. It is called the concept of tactical motives. It is my term, or the concept of tactical weaknesses, we can say that. So we can see that there are many tactical weaknesses in black's camp. So like, see, so many unprotected pieces in black's camp, right? You can use red color to mark. I prefer to use red for weaknesses and green for strengths. King as well.
King.
E5, E5. So these are tactical weaknesses. Okay, I call them tactical motives.
Because they
It
are
is
undefended, right?
Yes, yes, they are undefended. And so in this type of situation, the value of every tempo is extremely high because so tactical weakness is a short-term factor, right? We should act very energetically to exploit those tactical weaknesses. So in this type of situation, when you feel there are motives in opponent's camp, you should try to, you should try to check those motives very carefully. It would help you discipline your thinking process and find maybe unobvious candidate moves. So like in this position, obviously queen e5 falls because of rook e7, because you created huge motives in your camp, queen and rook on the same file, right?
This
So
would
I
be
saw,
such a terrible end.
yeah, so I saw some people play this. Those who played without thinking played queen e5, a huge mistake. So that even beginners and okay, like, yeah, can learn from this class today. So how else can we exploit those weaknesses in the opponent's camp, right? And then another very important point is how to exploit those weaknesses. It is about typical patterns, yes, and one of the most frequently used patterns to exploit tactical motives in opponent's camp is, yes, is double attack. Yeah, this is what the great David Bronstedt said: the chess is a game of double attack, because so many double attacks he made in his life. And so there is a move, right? Now try to have a fresh look at the position and try to find a strong move to exploit our tactical motives in the opponent's camp. So yes, now I see this, their chart is full of our correct answers now.
It's like, Alexander, you gave them the right direction through your words, and they all started thinking in a
Yes.
different way.
So that's why I never say the right move. I try to explain my thinking process. And then many people immediately understand that they start thinking correctly and they're able to find the right move. So
That's amazing.
actually, some people said queen c6, but it's just or bishop d7. It helps black get rid of one of his hanging pieces, right? After bishop d7. So, and what else? We should try to
There is
play very.
also knight c4 mentioned and knight f3. These two moves.
Yeah, but it's again another important thing. We should try to feel the most ambitious moves. Yeah, the most energetic, the most forcing moves, right? And so again, there is nothing we can do attacking the opponent's king, but we can attack opponent's pieces. And the right move is, as many of you played, finally queen c5. Yeah, very simple
Beautiful.
move. Very simple move. Actually, I remember solving this position myself, and I was just, for 1 minute, I couldn't understand, but I said to myself, okay, what about tactical motives? And just it took for me a few seconds or so.
Wow. That's
Uh,
that's amazing, and in fact, a lot of people got this answer right. And I just want to take a few names of the people who were the first ones to get it: Dynamic Sendil Nathan, Sindhu Jepalyam, Madhesh Kumar, Viresh, Balkishan Anand, Niranjan Warrior, Pramesh Arora, Kovarthan Logarachagan, and Nalan Arumugam. So well done, guys. You all got it correct. And these are the
so, of course, queen c5 is not time to quit the line. After queen c5, rook a8 is the only move to protect, but queen c6, another double attack is coming.
Oof.
And David Bronstein would be
Brutal.
really happy, yeah. So, okay. So that was a simple
It was a good start.
position
It,
to
it
introduce.
made them think. It got them in a thinking mode.
Yeah. So just now, during these class, try to, before to calculate, moreover, before to give me your solution, try to look for those tactical weakness. So when I say tactical motives, just pay attention. It is the same as tactical Weakness, it is just my term, which I use working with my students. Okay, tactical weakness and tactical motive, it is just the same.
It's the same. Yeah. Should we go to the next one, Alexander?
Yeah, yes,
Okay, let's go to the next position. This one is again white to play, right?
yes.
Okay, looks a little bit more complex there with so many pieces, but I believe that guys, you should be able to think through this. And Alexander, when someone's solving such a position in your class and so on, do you tell them to set it up on a board or seeing from the screen is good enough?
Um, During the class, we do not have much time to to put it on the board. So because of time limited time, usually we don't do it much. But yes, some students do it actually. Yeah.
Okay.
If I have a chance, I would always use chessboard only. But so
Mhm. Okay, guys, try to think through this one and try to look at what is it that you would like to do
so
here.
please, especially my students, give a line. So work with candidate moves. One move is insufficient. Okay.
Mhm.
So just consider opponent's options.
We have like amazing answers coming in. Lot of people writing here, close to 400 of them trying this out. Guys, try your best, and there's a lot to learn from here. I think there are also a lot of complete lines that are coming in, Alexander.
Yes, I'm trying to follow. I see.
And guys, just let me know is the if the sound is okay for both me and Alexander. I believe everything is good, but just in case.
I think we are there. You're doing really well.
Mhm. Okay, so in
Of course, I
terms,
think needless to say that using engine is strictly forbidden, right?
oh yes,
So,
absolutely, guys, don't
and
even
it's
try it. I mean, there's just no point in doing that.
yeah,
Even if you win some prize, it's not going to help you in your
you would
life.
lose in the long run, of course, right? Think strategically, think big.
Okay, so there are a few main moves that are being mentioned a lot.
Again,
Um,
let's try to use the same approach. So, like before showing the move, I tell a few words,
yes,
and then some people would get it
mm. Let's
because
do
if you
that.
show the move, then I guess everyone, I believe, I will explain why I don't like you to show, because actually,
Actually, I made it. I made a mistake. I should not have shown. This is the. I
yeah.
wanted to keep this. Sorry.
See, let's so I'm teach my students to think, and
Mm.
just I share with them my thinking process, which is actually the fruit of my whatever I teach my students is actually those concepts that I developed myself being a professional chess player, and I was developing those systems, and then I polished and developed further working with my students for the last 19 years. So what is this position, right? Obviously, we can see that something is happening on the king side. We have two knights and queen, yeah, which is actually great combination of pieces, attacking combination of pieces. And actually, there is already some superiority in force on the king's side. Yeah, pay attention. The black queen is completely out of play, right? So, but it takes only one move for black to bring the queen back, queen d8, for example, and it would be kind of full consolidation. Or moreover, probably one of those knights are hanging as well, or maybe both of them, probably both of them. So that's why we should Yeah, and there are many motives in black's camp as well. What are those motives? Obviously g7, obviously king, right? King. Okay, red color, please, so that
Sorry,
it
yes.
will be more. Yeah, I guess h7,
Mm-hmm.
e7. Rook f8 is not properly protected. One attack, one defense, and so yeah, it looks like this. But so in those type of positions with short-term advantage, right? You should try to act as energetically as possible, which means you should consider the most forcing moves, right? And the most forcing move is always, right? We know
Check.
three types of forcing moves: so checks, captures, and threats. But definitely the most forcing is check, right? Check, because opponent cannot can opponent has to take care of, right? He cannot ignore your threat. So that's why first of all you should learn to check checks with great discipline. Yeah, you should be very methodical in this process. So that's why you should check checks, right? So like queen g7, it seems queen g7, knight g7, knight h6. Okay, there is nothing. Yes, our king h8, there is nothing. So go back. Knight e7, rook e7, and also queen g7, knight f6. Nothing is happening here. So right, are there any other checks in this position? Yeah. So and if you get used to check all the checks, including unexpected ones, then sometimes it can be greatly rewarding, right?
Mm.
And another move, you should just put it on the board to see what is this. It takes maybe 1-2 seconds, right? But sometimes you can understand. You just, oh, what is that? Interesting, right? And then you can understand that the move, right here, is the move which I believe many people would not even consider here,
Mm.
because I guess what I learned from my experience is that sometimes the most difficult part of calculation process is to spot unobvious candidate moves. There is nothing really to calculate after that, but you should learn to develop your discipline so that in your training process at home you should you should not rush. You should try to methodically develop the discipline of your calculation process. And the move here is knight f6.
Beautiful.
This check discoordinates the opponent's pieces very badly. You can see that rook and knight are overloaded under king, so that whatever black plays, mate is coming.
So if king h8, there is queen h7 mate. If you take with the knight, there is queen g7 mate. And if you take with the rook, then there is check, king h8, and mate.
So a little but nice example that illustrates the importance of checking forcing moves with great discipline, right? So
Yes,
just develop our computer eye, right? So it's very important to check such tricky, unexpected moves. Of course, not in every position. So only in those positions with tactical motives, right? So that's very important to understand.
beautiful. Let's just have a look at who answered this correctly. We have Hikaru here, although it's not the real Hikaru. Venkat Padma Pranayam Panagaukar, Apple Santhu, Abhilav's Chess, Pranaya Kula, Yoshim, Patmini, Pramesh, and Om Prakash Bhatta. Well done, guys. Good job. And let's go
Okay,
back.
I think we can do one thing. So that I hope you are like, we have very honest young players here who are interested in chess growth, are very objective about evaluating their own performance. So please count your points, okay? And at the end of the class, please send the number of points. So for every correct answer, you get 1 point, okay?
So if you had found queen c5 in the first one, you got 1 point, and if you found knight f6 here, you get 1 point.
but only the first try counts. Okay,
Okay.
it's not.
All right. So, Alexander, should we go to the next position?
Yes, yes, but
Okay.
what is here is important. Pay attention.
Hmm.
White has some superiority in force on the king side because of black's misplaced queen, right? And we should try to act energetically. So, and checks. Check our candidate moves with great discipline.
Right.
Okay, let's move on.
Let's go to the next one here. We have a game played by Alexander himself. You are black. Should I flip the board to your side?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, let's do it. So I just want to show you this game from the very beginning because I guess it would be very instructive. I played this game against one 1800 plus younger uh, Norwegian player in Simo. So that was a camp in Norway. So it's so now the name of is Dal Trygve, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken. So
Right.
he's already 25 years old. Yeah, but he was 12-year old at that. And
Oh.
now that's he's playing the move, which actually, probably you can even find some courses about this move. So, but I would like to say a few words here, right? What is move knight g5? Yeah, can you give me a hint? What is this move from general principles point of view, right? So just you have 10 seconds to write what you know about this move, how you understand this move. So
Thota
yeah.
Srinivas says same piece twice. Arvind Selva says second move with an already developed piece. Anirban Mondal says fried liver.
But I don't know. They say some terms like fried liver. Just never
It's the
heard.
name of the opening.
Oh my god. No, see, I teach my students to understand the game of chess, not to remember those names. It has no use. I don't know those names.
Money.
Yeah, of
People
course.
people are saying it's a bad move because it's moving the same piece twice. Do you think so? Like, is it a bad move? I don't know.
Okay, so uh, it is a move that violates the general principles. Uh, I would like to see the game a little bit, and then we understand why I would blame our young player for this move. So, because of course our black is playing d5, you can say this is this is quite a known position so far. d5,
Yes.
e takes d. So of course, if you're not a beginner, then you know that a knight d5 is a mistake here, right? It's very okay. We can, I guess, show because there are some
Yes.
less experienced young players. Knight d5 is a mistake in this position because there are huge motives in your camp. Knight f7 square and knight on d5.
Chat is
So
fully switched on. Yeah, they are very quick to
yeah,
find knight f7. So well done, guys.
yeah, king f7.
Queen f3, and it's actually this is a very good line for white.
Yeah, it's very, very dangerous attack. So yeah, of course, yeah, but statistic is huge for white here, right? So yeah, it is considered to be a mistake to capture on d5, but knight a5. So black is sacrificing a pawn for a development advantage. So c6, this is very, very known. Bishop e2, and we can see that black has already better development, and h6, right? And this is already another critical position. So so the best move is knight f3 here, but still black has a very rich compensation after knight f3, e4. Okay, let's show briefly. Okay, like bishop c5, I prefer to provoke move c3 here in those positions, as we will see. And this is how actually my preparation is going here. Queen c7, really nice developing move. Just see developing a piece and preventing opponents castling at the same time, right? So, and that's a very, I think, great compensation for black. So very easy play, and so very, very
Wonderful.
often young players are going down very quickly in those positions with white. So because black, again, I would like to say a few words. Yeah. This game is a nice example about development, and development in general is, I guess, one of the most underestimated topics. So because people usually think development, okay, we did it when we were beginners. But yes, you've learned some general, very basic general principles, but development has so many different levels of understanding because, yes, and for example, in my course, I teach very advanced concepts about development. So we are diving deep in or discussing really, really advanced concepts or typical situations and so on because I know from my experience that okay, international masters, grandmasters often do not understand or forget those general principles and make those mistakes. Okay, I hope if I recall one name here in this chat, I hope my student would not mind. So I was struggling with some students.
Oh.
So including, I guess, even Parimarjan Negi, Aditya Mittal, very strong international masters they were at that time, but they broke general principles. And the mastering development general principles are so they improved their foundation a lot. They developed their sense of tempo. So they improved the understanding of our harmony in the game of chess, right? Because in the opening, it's about every tempo is very valuable, especially in open positions. So
Right.
let's see what happened in the game.
He went
Knight
back knight h3. And
yes.
if I'm not mistaken, there is this move was once played by Bobby Fischer as white.
Uh,
Or maybe it
Rob,
was, yeah.
yeah, I remember something, not exactly. So, okay, let's see.
But you don't like this move, yeah? Knight h3.
Yeah, just placing the knight on the edge of the board, right, is not a good idea, right?
Okay.
And it's not only because of bishop h3 is an idea, breaking this structure a lot, but knight, yes, how they say, knight on the rim.
Is dim.
Yeah, this is what they say, right?
Red mark. Yeah.
Let's see how the game is developing.
d3 castles. Knight comes out. Rook e8. And now bishop f3 played.
Bishop f3, right. So again, another non-developing move. So
He
but
could have castled actually here, but he decided to play bishop f3.
yeah, but already with knight on h3, castling is very, very, yeah, doesn't look very good because, okay, any moment I can capture on h3, destroying opponent's king shelter, and so black has huge compensation for a pawn. So bishop f3, let's see. Okay, my next move is just very typical Simon move. I just develop another piece following the principle of worst piece. By the way, when working on development, we can improve understanding of the principle of worst piece because one of very advanced concepts about development is flexibility in developing pieces, right? You should yes, it's very basic level to understand that with every move you should develop another piece, but which piece to develop first is a good question, right? So, and this is very challenging,
So
actually.
in a way, you are saying like the bishop on c8 already is doing pretty well. Could also at some point be here. So we keep it flexible, but rook b8 is a nice move to get first.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So bishop is a long range piece and it is playing from its initial position. So that's why actually very often we develop our bishops in order to connect our rooks.
Right.
So But when we connect, when we can develop our rook from its starting square, then sometimes our bishop is doing very well from its starting position as well,
Nice.
right?
That's a great point.
So let's see.
He
And in
went
this
here knight
yeah,
g1.
very ambitious move, by the way, right? Because
He
if white
wants
is
to
a
get knight e2 and castle, right?
yeah, so this is very big critical moment. So please, now we have the most critical moment in this game, black to move. So just take your time and don't guess, please. Try to understand. Intuition is important, but calculate lines as well.
Right.
Intuition can be very helpful in order to prioritize your thinking process, right? Yes, you can. It helps you understand which move you want to make work, but then you need to calculate lines and
So guys, try to calculate here. Don't just go on feel only. Try to think what would you do here. We have several interesting moves coming up. I'm not going to show it as promised, but guys, try to see a little bit deeper. Amazing. It's so beautiful to see the chat today. We have like everyone's into
okay,
chess.
one move isn't sufficient, especially if you are my school student. Okay, you should explain what is behind your move. Because, as I say, even beginner can play the best move, right? From sometimes with wrong idea very often. As I see many of you play the best move with wrong idea, by the way.
Yeah, so actually try to go for the full line. Like, what will black do? You know, Alexander, one of the things which many people struggle with while giving the full line is like they can think moves for themselves, but they can't think a move for their opponent.
Yes, exactly. So that's why, yes, you should learn to analyze, which means looking for the best move from both sides, right? So
Okay. What would be the way to approach this position? I can tell you some of the moves whenever you want, like what the chat has written. I can see them.
actually, I can see the chat, and let me give a hint. So
Uh-huh.
how would I approach the disposition? What was my thinking process? It was a simul game, but still, I had a little bit of time because it was a simul with clock. So there were like about 6 young players. I had a bit of time, so maybe I had a few minutes for disposition. So, of course, it's important to see that uh, black has really big development advantage. White needs 2 more moves to remove the king to safety, right? And it's black to move. So means we have, I guess, how many extra tempos in development? At least 3 tempos already, I guess, right? So again, having a development advantage, especially playing against opponents on castled king, right? You should try to act as energetic as possible in order to uh, if not to win the game on the spot, at least you should try to prevent opponents castling, right? So again, development and positions with development advantage is a lot about prophylactical thinking. Another very big advanced point about working on development. So, and here, the most vulnerable point in wide scam, by the way, write down what is the most vulnerable point in
Uh-huh.
wide scam here. It's very important to see the objects for attack, right? Okay, I see that. Wow, great. F2, everyone.
Everyone is like F2, yeah? They have their eyes set on that square.
Great, F2. So, but what would happen if we consider the most natural, straightforward Queen B6 move, right? What's wrong with Queen B6? Did you consider this move?
I think a lot of people wrote queen b6.
Ah, you played this move. Yes, I see that many people say the right move for white now. Because with this move, you're attacking on f2, but you create motives in your own camp as well, yeah? Bishop and queen can be attacked with move knight a4. This is the right move. Bishop f2
But I
now.
can take this with a check.
King f1.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it seems knight on a4 is hanging, but after queen d4, there is a great move c3. And the position is, okay, you are losing a piece. What is this position is absolutely unclear. Black has probably a strong compensation, but it is very difficult to evaluate and absolutely unnecessary, I would say as well.
Correct.
So, and then if you see this line, then you can find the best move by using reciprocal thinking. What does means reciprocal thinking? It is when you check the most direct move. Yes, you get very important information about the position. You see that queen b6, knight a4 is not working well, or at least the position is not so clear. And then you think, okay, the idea is very promising. I should try to make it work, but how can I improve the position? Yeah, what can I do to make it work? And then this is how you can come up with an interesting idea which was played in the game, right? The move in this position is so e4,
Wow.
right?
Actually, this was the most suggested move.
Yeah, that's great. Your intuition is very good. Of course.
There was also one more move just for people. Queen d4 was suggested by a few people, but that just doesn't make sense, right? Bishop
Yeah.
e3.
Another very important, not very advanced point, but still important one. So when developing your pieces, you should try to develop your pieces trying to make opponents' development more difficult. But in reality, many young players are doing opposite. They're helping opponents' development, right? So this is the biggest mistake you can make, helping opponents' development. So e4, what is the point actually here?
Actually, it's so tough to calculate such a move because white can pick up this pawn in multiple ways. So it's
Yes,
not.
and that's what I like about dynamic play. Let me say, so dynamic play, it is not something that you can calculate till the end, right? Dynamic play is a lot about dynamic feeling. What is dynamic feeling? It is intuition, right? Your intuition, understanding of some general principles, our feeling of tempo. Like in this position, move e4 is very logical because playing against uncastle king, we should try to open up central files, right? And move e4 is not only interesting move objectively, but it is extremely it is very strong move practically. And dynamic play is a lot about practical side of decision making process, because in dynamic play we should try to pose problems. We should try to force opponent make difficult decisions. So here white has 3 recaptures, and they're so right. Time matters in chess a lot, right? If you pose problems, if you fight for initiative, right, your opponent can have more chances to make a mistake. So after move e4, actually, yes, it's not easy to make a move, and I believe many of you already would make a mistake here. Actually, this is what happened in the game. After bishop e4, how the position is changing, right? Now the position has changed, and black has a nice
Very tough
idea
move.
here.
Yeah, now actually black to play here. It's not an easy move.
Not an easy, not so difficult, right?
Most of the people want to take the bishop on e4.
Mistake. Again, it's a very important point about a concept of tactical motives. You should try to exploit tactical motives. You should not help opponent get rid of tactical motives. Bishop e4 is a motive itself. You should try to exploit that.
That's a great point, actually. What a nice point. That By taking the bishop, you are getting rid of the tactical motive there.
Yeah, I call it helping chess. So, but how the position is changed, you should be very flexible in your thinking process. You should use drawback principle all the time. How did the position change? Bishop is not f3 anymore, so
Wow.
it makes move one strong move possible, right? Knight g4.
Beautiful,
Yeah,
guys. All those who found this move, amazing. Well done.
and king on a1 is a big motive as well, right? f5 is coming, so the game is over.
Nice. Knight h3,
So
f5. Okay. So
yeah,
knight e4 may be one move, and the other is pawn takes e4.
okay. The most stubborn would be d takes c. Let's have a look at this move. So, but how did the position change compared to their move queen b6 immediately? Right? Can you see the difference between those two positions? There is no pawn on d3 anymore. So what is the difference? There is no pawn on d3.
What changed? Yeah.
So chess is a logical game, right? And you don't need to calculate everything till the end. You should simply see how the position is changing. You should use comparison and you should more evaluate rather than calculate.
Right. We have
So, and
people in the chat saying the diagonal has opened up.
yes, great point. Great point. And there is one more point, actually, I guess. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, because one of the drawbacks and actually why people are attracted with this line, knight on a5 is a terrible piece, actually, right? That's why this line with white is, generally speaking, playable on a very high level. But we are going to discuss why it is not recommended to play still. So, and now the move is, of course, not queen d1, as I saw some of you playing with development advantage. When attacking, you should preserve the queens, right? So queen is the most powerful attacking piece. So, of course, queen b6 is coming.
Beautiful.
Now it works much better. So let's see what will happen. Queen e2, bishop a6. I guess it's clear. And the game is over. Rook b d8 is coming, just crushing. So that's why knight a4 to be played. Yeah, knight a4 is only move. Let's see. Yeah, I guess bishop f2 to be played. Yeah, and this is actually where probably you need to calculate, at least now. So bishop f2, king f1. Okay, let's try to find, actually, I want to give you this position, a little position for calculation. Calculation is extremely important in very concrete. In the final stage of attack, it is extremely important, right? It is not about general considerations anymore. It is about finding the most strict way to finish the game.
So what should black do here? Maybe more than one move, guys, not just one move.
Yeah, one move is insufficient. Yeah, everyone found this check on a6, but it is not sufficient. So I remind you the most important points. You should try to use the energy of all your pieces. This is why the topic of development is so valuable to improve your dynamic play. You are learning to use the energy of all your pieces. The second point, so keep an eye on tactical motives in opponent's camp as well. Try to consider the most energetic options. Oh, I see many people found it, right?
Yeah. There are people who have been suggesting bishop a6 check here.
Okay, let's go ahead. Bishop a6, knight e2, and now, so just let's have a look at this position. So black to move.
Yeah, this is a key moment now because kind of white has covered up the check. What do you do?
So just pay attention at tactical motives in white scam. There is a huge motive. You should notice that. Yeah, I think, okay, mostly,
I think it's amazing that people are not afraid that their queen is hanging, and most of them manage to find the right move.
yes.
Sh- Should I make the move?
Yeah, I think the move is really great. So just let me
Sorry.
let me give a hint.
Okay.
Let me give a hint. So I think I can say I was really good in playing with development advantage.
Hmm.
Uh, why? Because you know I develop so just I developed this very important habit to use the energy of all my pieces. So just and you should develop the same thing actually, and you should see objects for attacking your opponent's camp. So here there is one piece which is not doing almost anything in black's camp. What is this piece?
Hmm.
What is black's worst piece in this position? Right? And rook b8 is not doing much.
Hmm.
So that's
Yeah,
why
that's
we can play.
absolutely out of game.
Yeah, rook b8 is a brilliant move, and so huge material losses are inevitable here. Just bishop d2 probably. Yeah, because rook h1 is also motive. Pay attention. Rook is even this rook is in the corner. Yeah, it is unprotected, and after rook d1, rook h1 is coming as well, right?
So if knight v6, rook d1, king f2, that is rook h1.
Yeah, and we have simply an exchange up, and still development advantage. Knight e4 is coming.
So bishop d2.
Bishop d2, and then yeah, the queen d4 right here.
Very nice.
Actually, yeah, there are a few moves, but this is probably the simplest one. Yeah, and just it's over. Yeah, it is over. Yeah, and so let's see what happened in the game. This would have posed some a little problem for me to found, but in the game, as it often happens, another point about dynamic play: if you have initiative, if you pose problems to your opponent, there is a big chance that your opponent would crack under pressure, right? That's why you should evaluate the practical point of your decisions all the time, right?
So
So let's see.
here, knight e4, you took knight e4.
Yeah. Okay.
And if bishop takes, there is f5, right? That
Yeah.
should be very strong. So pawn takes.
Yeah. Now it's, I guess, already too simple.
Actually, I was wondering. We can't do. Black
Yeah.
to play
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to actually. I guess some people might also get attracted to it. They might think the queen is defended by the king, so they might think of bishop takes pawn check.
Yeah. It reminds me one a game, I guess, Nisipiano Ivanchuk when in World Cup he sacrificed the bishop f2 and resigned after king f2.
The queen is
So
protected. Yeah.
yeah.
And so the right move is the same motive.
Yeah. There is no knight a4 anymore, so there is no problem in developing the attack anymore. So the game is over actually already. So queen b6.
If queen
Queen.
e2, there is bishop a6. So
Yeah.
sorry, he went knight e2. But what if knight h3, right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Bishop h3 looks like they're
Bishop
simple.
h3
No,
and
No, I don't like bishop h3. I don't like bishop h3. I think there is. I would like to play not for material but for initiative. I like another move, which is another great point about development advantage. You are learning to care about opponents' ideas, right? So studying those positions, you can improve your prophylactical thinking. You cannot be good at these type of positions if you don't care about opponents' ideas, because very rarely you can finish the game. You just, in most of cases, you need to prevent opponent's consolidation, opponent's castling. So in this position, I guess probably the first bishop a6, I guess the first idea comes in my mind here.
It's also
And
very
it's
good. I think rook d8 is also very strong
okay, even more force, yeah.
because
Even more
after
force.
queen e2, bishop a6, the queen is trapped.
Yeah, even more force, yeah. Yeah, that's a complete finish, yeah.
So knight e2, and here rook d8 is the same thing. Check, king f1, knight c4.
Yeah, you remember the idea behind move e4. The pawn d3 was removed,
The
and
knight
there
is
the knight on a5, which was terribly placed, now is doing fantastic job.
beautiful.
Yeah, knight. So and here I guess my opponent resigned somewhere here. But let's discuss actually why I would not recommend you to play this type of openings with white, right? So and the question was whether knight g5 is a good move or not. Objectively speaking, the move is not bad, right? If you start engine, you can see the move is not bad.
Right.
Moreover, I believe there are some courses on this, but you know, and you can see that even some strong grandmasters are playing. But what grandmasters can play and what is given in those courses, right, is not recommended for young players because most of those grandmasters grew up studying playing classical openings. You're mastering those general principles, and nowadays, because of some practical ideas, right, they play some sidelines. They try to pose some different type of problems. They analyze in great detail and having already great understanding about the game of chess. So, but so for young players, I would recommend to play classical openings according to the general principles, developing the pieces are right. With every move, try to develop a new piece. Fight for the center. So your task is to develop good habits. Your task is to master those general principles. Okay. So that's why what can be okay and playable for strong grandmasters can be very dangerous and harmful for young players. You can win a game on some trick, but you would lose in the long run.
Mm.
Moreover, I know very well that even if you're very well prepared with engine, with some courses, first move out of your preparation and a huge mistake is coming because you don't understand the position, you don't understand general principles properly, and your opponent has already the initiative with black pieces.
Right.
So that's why just play classical openings. Fight for the initiative from the very first move, right?
There is
So
the nice
learn
comment here who say they say can't break the rules until you master them.
absolutely. This is what my coach told me all the time. Master those general principles in order to break them consciously and skillfully when you're already grandmasters or at least international masters. Okay? So play classical openings. Play those openings where the value of tempo is very high. This is how you can improve your dynamic feeling. And this is how you can, right? Initiative starts, so fight for the initiative starts from the very first move.
Right.
And it's very important to choose openings very carefully. So be careful with those modern courses created by strong grandmasters, but not by strong coaches. Okay. So, for example, my opening materials are always based on general principles and model games that would show typical middle game ideas, because the most important thing is to get connection between opening and typical middle game. So that's why you should study, first of all, model games that illustrate those typical ideas.
Got it. Okay. This was such an incredible game with so many concepts and so many ideas.
Yeah, white to play here.
We go to the next one, guys. It's white to move. I think this one starts to get a bit more tricky, right?
Yeah, so their level is increasing, I guess. This position more for intuition. You have 2-3 minutes, but use your time, okay? It's not like intuition does not mean the first move comes in your mind, right?
Yes.
Still, 2-3 minutes is enough to check some lines. Please calculate lines properly. I see that.
Guys, try to think what exactly is going on. Look at all the pieces in the position. Look at the concept of tactical motive, which was discussed here, so that you can already start to apply it in your games.
Again, if you go for some responsible dynamic operation, sacrificing something, you should calculate lines. Yeah, you cannot only rely on your intuition, because especially, intuition are in complex dynamic position. It is your experience, and in your case, you don't have much experience.
So we have actually one move that has been recommended by a lot of people, and I'm very surprised actually that this is what everyone wants to play. Not everyone, but quite a few.
I see some 2,300 players who didn't play the best move, by the way.
Who is that?
Joao Patel.
Joel Patel. Okay, we have some amazing players. I think Srinivas Thota is maybe Dhruv. Yes,
Dhruva.
Dhruva is here. He's 2300 plus. We have I am Nisha Mohota here. We
Yeah, well,
have
we have
Arindam Malik, who is I think
it's
Mritika
Mritika Malik.
Malik.
We have lots of my students in this group. Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing.
So we have some. Okay, what is this position? Let's discuss. Right? So first of all, we can see this is opposite side castling middle game on the board. Yeah. The white king and on the queen side, the black king is on the king side, which makes the position very sharp usually, right? Also, we can see that we have a typical French defense middle game where the e5 pawn is extremely strong. It provides white with some advantage in the center, and also, okay, I'm going to use a little bit of advanced terms. My students are familiar. So there is some lack of communications between the flanks in black's camp. Yeah. So it's really hard for black to move his pieces from one flank to another one. There are no defenders on the king side, right? So all the black pieces mostly on their queen side. But queen d8 is still there. That's why if you played bishop h7, queen h7, so king h7, queen h4, it is a huge blunder. So please calculate lines, okay? Calculate lines. Yes, of course, bishop h7 is a typical pattern. Yeah, but it does not work all the time. It does not work all the time. Okay, there is nothing forced at the moment, and you know, in order to be strong attacking players, we should learn to create, we should learn to build positional ground for an attack. Yeah. Probably it is not less important than just to conduct an attack. Yeah, because many young players like attacking, but they don't know how to create strong positional ground for an attack. Yeah, and that's actually what probably one of the most advanced parts of what we work on in the course. Yeah, and we are learning to fight for the initiative. We are learning to build positional ground for an attack, and then, of course, we are learning to attack. Yeah. So how to play? Yeah. In this position, actually, pawn storm, which is very typical in opposite side castling middle game, and this French middle game is quite slow. Why? The placement of those pawns f7, g7, h7 is perfect, right? And white needs lots of tempers in order to open files. g5, h4, h5, and then what? Right? Even if you play g6, black would play f takes g, h takes g, h6, and the files are closed. That's why in this middle game, white is using another typical idea, which is called rook lift.
Oh,
Rook lift, rook g3 was played. It is
wow.
better move than g5. I saw many of you play
Yes,
g5.
lot of people wanted g5. In fact, it's the most popular move here.
Why this move is not so good? Because it allows opponent to bring his knight in defense. Knight e7.
Beautiful.
Quite a natural and simple move. And now he can play a g6 sometimes. Yeah, still it's very dangerous position, but black has good chances for consolidation. And if you play something like rook g3 now, let's see. I think I give this line after g5. After
Ah,
g5.
g5,
Yeah,
knight e7.
I just want to illustrate one idea, right? So g6, rook h3, and yeah, there is always move h5, right? And you have to capture this pawn, and then the h5 is going to be closed. Yeah, and this is kind of consolidation, and white probably has still advantage, but there is no mating attack. So that's why, as I said, prophylaxis is very important part of attacking chess. So you should try to improve your pieces, but you should try to prevent your opponent's ideas at the same time. The move white played is really nice, rook g3. Why this move is much better? Knight e7 is not possible anymore. Now it's quite simple, right? Knight
In
e7.
fact, this move was only mentioned by a very few people. Rocky Star, Anand, Patmini, and Apple Santu. Well done, guys. So this move, and now if knight e7, as you mentioned,
Now it's simple, right?
guys, how do you finish this off? Let's see if we can get more than 50 people here to answer this, that you all are thinking about what to do, because
one move is insufficient, so please give your lines.
yes. Wow, we have a lot of people who have found the right answer. But as you said, one move is not sufficient. Give the full line. We have bishop h7 mentioned here, Alexander.
Yeah, it's very, very typical pattern. Yeah, but we need to calculate a little bit further. So rook h3, king g8. And there are two tactical motives in this game, right? Not only h8, but h7 as well. Knight g6 doesn't work, right? And if f6, so trying to renew communications, then probably, I guess, okay, everything, knight e6, completely winning, right? And their g7 is another huge motive and just crushing attack, yeah?
Right.
Okay, no need to calculate everything. It looks, okay, yeah. Okay, so Pay attention, rook g3 is not just improving our rook, but preventing opponent's consolidation at the same time. There is a huge, very deep point, right? Like that's a very advanced point. See, in this type of positions with lack of communications, black should try to renew communications by playing move f6. And now you can understand what Nimzovich says. You should demand from your pieces not only attacking function, but prophylactic function as well. Knight on c5 is doing amazing prophylactical job, preventing freeing move f6, right? And just exchange is going. So let's see what happened in the game.
He went
So
knight b4.
yeah, there is no actually, black cannot bring defenders to the king side. So he's trying to grab the bishop, right? And now we have another critical position.
I think by now I have understood how to attack here.
Okay.
Let's see if people. Dhruva says also when we have opponents lack of communication, we should attack weakest point in opponent's camp.
That's very advanced concepts, yeah. So this is my student, yeah. And the weakest point usually is the most distant from the center because it's more difficult for opponent to bring pieces to defend.
Wow. So the move that has been said by many people here, Venkata Padma, Nisha, Abhilouch Chess, Adhyayan, Jihan, is Bishop h7.
Okay, that's the most natural, obviously. Okay, let's go ahead. Yeah. So far, I guess almost everyone is playing this move. It looks really, really natural, but rook h3 is probably as well. Yeah, but okay, what is about this position now? How to make progress here?
Guys, what should white play here now? I mean, you did sacrifice a piece, but you should be able to continue. And
but
I think
one move is insufficient. You should
you should
check.
have calculated this before sacrificing the bishop, right?
Yes, or generally you cannot go for this position without calculation. You should calculate lines because black has a very simple move here, at least at least simple plan of consolidation, I would say. Most of people give only one move. It is not sufficient. Again, you should give a line. Okay, let's see. Okay, most of you play g5. This is a good move. Yes, it's the best move here. The idea is to prepare queen h4, and still black cannot play move f6 because of actually many ideas are there. Oh my god! I guess I got a. No, wait. There are so many interesting moves here, right?
Were you going to sack rook h8?
Everything is winning. Everything is winning here, of course. Even simple g takes up. Yeah, g takes up. I guess very simple moves.
Yeah.
No, this completely lost. Yeah. Okay, just rook g1. Everything is coming. Rook e8 is only move instead of f6. Yeah. And that's another critical position. So but again, one move is insufficient. Okay. You have time. Give. So that's a big critical position. And I guess one of probably the most instructive position in this game.
Wow. Not easy actually. Because
Not easy.
Because if you want to mate him down the h file, the king is running away.
Yeah. That's my favorite approach in attack.
Which is?
We will see now.
Okay.
I'm not going to reveal so easily.
That is a nice word that was put in the chat. I don't know if it's a term that you use. It's called fish bone.
Yes, it
Ah,
is
it's your
our turn.
it's your turn. Okay. Very nice. So you have all these terms, yes, Alexander, in your training, which
Yeah, this is
actually
those
is a
terms I
reminder.
developed. Yeah, there are. It is about typical patterns. Fishborn is a typical pattern. Generally speaking, attacking chess is mostly about pattern recognition. Like bishop h7 is very simple pattern that almost everyone knows. But again, this is much more advanced pattern now. I played, I guess, a few games in this position with black against my students. I think even I played against SP Sethuraman.
Oh,
When he was international master, he didn't find.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, Situ, if I
No, not for him, but I'm like this. It doesn't look like this move is, but maybe it's very tricky. Yeah, here, like it's not just about one move.
no, not at all. Okay. See, actually, there is what I see that normally even Arjun Regaisi couldn't find. Sorry, it's if it is Arjun Regaisi, maybe.
No, no, it's not him. I'm sure
Ro-
Arjun has to prepare
no,
for his.
Arjun can find another strong move here as well. So it's while playing in the tech, it is a matter of taste as well. So sometimes Kasparov would develop an attack one way, Karpov would develop an attack another way, more positional, right? I prefer more positional, and I prefer because I feel positional is more practical. It requires less calculation, right? It is less time consuming, and it also poses more practical problems. So while going for longer forcing variation is a bit, tricky because you can spend lots of time on the clock. You can get tired, and you can miscalculate while your opponent is enjoying playing only moves. That's why I prefer positional way. So, and let's have a look actually here. Many people play the move 94. Okay, 94 is interesting move. Yeah, it's one of the best moves, but it's very, okay, d takes e, because knight f6 is crashing, yeah. Okay, let's play d takes e, or rook d8. And what is this position actually?
Looks very good for white, right? Like, for example, queen h4 trying to mate. But maybe king f8. Check.
Uh,
I don't know if this makes sense. Yeah, this variation here. Maybe white should be winning here, or I'm missing something.
yeah, that's winning actually, yeah. And that's a winning, not so difficult, but I just want to pay your attention. Interesting that this is winning, yeah, but I just want to pay your attention. If you play knight b7, for example, with the idea to create a motive, rook d8, after rook b7, queen h4, and I guess it is even stronger, maybe. Yeah. Maybe, okay. It's just one line. Okay, after knight b7, again. So just put this. Yeah, so what I want to remind you one very basic principles about calculation. Never recapture automatically, right? So because we calculate like this, knight b7, rook b7. But if you calculate this way, you would miss some intermediate candidate moves. So after rook d2 here, suddenly black is getting fantastic counterattack,
Wow.
and it's just crushing. Rook c2, rook b2, and this is fantastic counter.
So if
And
here
just rook
takes,
c2 and knight
it's
c2
a
mate.
mate. And if you go back here, I think it's a
Yeah, this is.
oh, this is also perpetual.
I think it's winning if I remember. Just
Knight a2.
okay. Even simply, I guess something like knight d3 should be winning, right? So in those positions, because this completely winning. There is no mate, and this is winning for black. Yeah.
And if he goes king d1, then you can maybe just continue knight b2. Or d2, king e1, knight c2, king f1.
So we shouldn't allow the king to escape, right?
Ah, you mean here we shouldn't take?
No, I think rook c2 is okay. Yeah. King d1.
Knight b2, but then there is king e1.
Yeah, that's very interesting, actually. I know engine evaluation, but yeah, sometimes it's very tricky. Yeah, I
Also
think.
knight d3, king f1. Maybe the king is running away. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like it. So the king looks like escaping. So just I don't like it. I would.
Dhruva
Okay, I
says
think.
king d1, rook d2,
Yeah,
king
that's what I'm
e1,
calculating.
knight d3,
King f1.
king f1, knight e3. What?
No, rook e3.
Rook e3, rook c8. No, this shouldn't work.
Oh my god.
That's
No,
too
that's
much.
No, maybe it works actually. When fantastic, yeah. Fantastic line.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, so what is actually attack? Yeah. It is about coordination of the pieces, first of all, right? So actually very important, very advanced point is actually what my coach taught me. So that he said that a good move in attack is always good looking from harmony point of view. While playing in defense, sometimes we can play ugly moves, but very strong ones. It might work in defense. Ugly moves might work in defense, but never in attack. And if you so you can attack by like our positional players did, like Karpov, Smyslov, Kramnik. After all, Carson, of course, yeah. So just positional way, just improving pieces, calculating simple lines, and calculating very precisely at the most critical moment at the same time. Okay, it was very complex.
By the way,
So
a lot of
let's.
people are saying rook e1 here, but I think after rook cc2, it might be very strong.
Yeah, it's already too advanced. Okay, I guess let's see what happened in the game.
Queen h4 was played.
Yeah, queen h4, king f8, and this is our very nice position. So this is very nice position.
I think they should think here, yes?
I hope they thought already about this position, right? Okay, we give a bit of time, so 2 minutes maybe, yeah? Okay, I'll give a hint. So, see, the king is trying to escape via e7 square, right? And the king is kind of in the killing zone now. If we prevent opponent's escape, right, the door is locked. So, yes, of course, we can calculate queen h8, king e7, queen g7, rook g8. Very crazy line, very long one. And this is what I said. Maybe Kasparov would calculate this line and found a way to win. Actually, there is a way to win from engine point of view. But it's very complex and very long, right? Rook h8, and it is actually, it is winning, but you should calculate very precisely here. So yeah, just capture, king e7, this is not very long and not obvious line. And this, yeah. And even this position still you should evaluate correctly because it seems knight is might get trapped, right? So, but we can play a3 and we are exchange up and 2 pawns, right? Yeah, this is winning. So especially if you are in time trouble, right? Imagine to calculate this complex line, you might miscalculate or you might lose on time. So yes, you might get nervous. But if you master positional way of attack, it would be much more reliable because so king is trying to escape. How can we prevent opponent's king? I see that some people found it. Yeah, Joao found.
Wow. Manoj Pati.
So there is
Joel
another great point about
Dhruva
this position. So this is what I
Jihan.
like. In order to crush opponent's position, you should win the battle for the center. Once you win the battle for the center, so the defender collapses. It is kind of, it's almost always. Once you crush opponent's center, so what can we do here? Just force, consider more forcing but simple lines, yeah? In the game was played move a3. What is the point? So the knight has to retreat to c6. And what is the point? What is the point now? And now, yeah. Actually. Oh, really? So which square we should crush? What is the most important central square on the board?
But why couldn't we do it before itself? Like, why did we have to play a3?
But what exactly you want? No, you have wrong idea probably.
I want to open up the position.
Yeah, but how? It might be maybe some different move order, maybe. So, and here we need how can we prevent king e7? So the move is, I guess you understood. The move is f5.
Yes, yeah? Yes, absolutely.
F6 is coming, right? Wow. F6 would be killing, and pawn on f6 is fishborn, right? You cannot remove it. So you have to capture on f5. And now simply move, prophylactical move, knight d5. Yeah, the game is over.
That's why the knight was pushed away. Like if we played a3 instead of a3, if we play f5 here directly,
he would capture it. A3 probably still winning, but move a3 is more forced and gives some less options. f5, yeah, capture, knight d5, and he has to give the queen, and the game is over. So, like, how much more reliable and simpler to find such simple positional moves while playing an attack, rather than calculating long, even though forcing, but sometimes very long, complex lines, which is very consuming, right? Very time consuming, and there is a bigger chance for a mistake, right?
Guys, that was just crazy, yeah, Alexander. That was amazing position.
So, and that's I like prophylaxis, I guess, is so important while attacking, because you just very often you can succeed by stopping opponent's consolidation, right? Just stopping opponent's consolidation. In this case, with move knight d5, we kept opponent's king in the killing zone, and there is no way to escape, right?
Right.
But again, one more point. This game is a great example about the center. Yes, center. Advantage in the center is a strong position of ground for a flank attack. So because of pawn on e5, we had very good chances for an attack on the king side, and finally crushing the center. So we included all the pieces in the attack, and so yeah. So what else? Our attack is about successful attack is about creating superiority in force on the part of the board where you are attacking. So you can see that white's pieces are much better coordinated in terms of the spirit of the position here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Yeah.
Ooh. A new position and a new possibilities.
Try to
play.
apply what we have already discussed today.
Where are the tactical motives? Is one for sure.
Oh, don't help, I hope. Please, one move is insufficient, okay?
Guys, go for it. Like, if your first move, then what will black do? Then what will you do? Try to go deeper.
So consider opponent's candidate moves, right?
Yes.
You cannot improve your calculation as well as analytical skills if you don't consider opponent's best options. You should learn to analyze. Nitish, more carefully with candidate moves.
Sorry?
I'm saying to Nitish.
What is his name here?
Shweta.
Shweta Munipale.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, very interesting. Amazing.
Okay, I guess everyone is suggesting the best move, but very few give proper lines. That's, yeah.
Some people have found it actually, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, let's discuss how to approach to this position, right? Actually, I hope you can see there are some tactical motives in black's camp. Yes, there are some unprotected pieces. Knight on g6, queen on a2, bishop on d7, right? Pawn d6 can be pawn d7. Pawn d6 is a positional weakness and kind of tactical motive as well. So, and again, yes, you have maybe some strategic advantage, right? More space, but you have also short-term advantage. So, and you should consider like tactical motives in opponent's camp should be a signal to consider the position concretely, right? You should try to act energetically because, for example, if it's black to play, I guess knight e5 and black is consolidating, right? So, and the move you should consider is move e5, right?
E5, boom.
E5. So opening the diagonal for the bishop. And so knight on g6 is right, is hanging. And
So
there
it
are
can't take
actually
here.
can't take because 95 followed by bishop h7, right? Again, every unprotected piece is a motive. Every unprotected piece is a motive. And queen is going, so. Okay, if or f takes e, yeah? This is the line where not everyone found the best move here. What do you remember what David Bronstein said?
Chess is a game of double attacks.
Yes.
And now everyone found it.
Yes. Knight c1, double attack, attacking the knight and queen at the same time, and piece is going, right?
Beautiful.
Piece is going and white wins. So let's see what happened in the game. Actually, black is playing very good defense. I recommend you, in your training process, especially for those like 20, 100 plus students, you should always look for the best defense for your opponent in order to improve your analytical skills, defensive skills, or calculation technique. The best move was played in the game, f5. Black is still in the game. But after move e6, which is the best, right? White is getting huge positional advantage because of a great e6 pawn. Actually, white didn't play very precisely in this position. There was very beautiful move, but very advanced. Again, the principle of war is peace, by the way. Not extremely difficult move, by the way. You can suggest maybe some very strong players can understand.
Yeah, what
But
should
it's
white do
very
here?
yeah, this is too advanced. Even he didn't find this move.
White is Daniel Vocaturo, who has been a trainer and a second to Vidit Gujarati here.
Yeah, I see some people found it. Some people played knight c5. Okay, when you play knight c5, do not recapture automatically. Learn to calculate lines slowly enough to see how the position is changing. Knight c5, you should see you create tactical motives in your own camp. You see? Look at your king especially. So many young players don't pay attention to their own king. So what is the move here? No, at least what comes in my mind, right? I understand if captured then d6, it seems like two connected pawns, but yeah, maybe this is interesting. Also, I'm not sure, but yeah, what is the move? Queen a7, right?
Yes.
Queen a7, maybe it's just already, yeah, maybe lost for white already.
Well done, guys. It's a pin.
So, yeah, that's why what we should play. So, again, knight e3 is a very beautiful move with idea 94, 95, yeah. Okay, let's do it a little bit faster. So, because still we have two more games. Yeah, this is just winning. Okay, finally, actually, white won the game. It was not absolutely. It was, I guess, already some chances for black. Let's see it very fast. So this, bishop h5, very nice move. And black is in the game already. So white is still better, but already some chances here.
Black is fighting.
Yeah, that's here. Yeah. Yes. Okay, simple move. And probably being in time trouble, black blundered very badly. So he played e3, and after queen g6, he resigned. So g7 is a huge motive, and there is no queen f2. Yeah. What we can learn from this game? So again, tactical motives in opponent's camp should be a signal to consider the position concretely, right? And we should try to act energetically to exploit our short-term advantage, right? So, but first of all, you should learn to see tactical motives. If you don't see them, and it's not a matter of one class. It is not a matter of 1 month. It is not a matter of 1 year. Believe me, I work with some international masters for many years. There is still room for improvement in understanding of the concept.
Right.
So this is okay.
Okay.
Let's move to the next position.
Let's go to the sixth one, guys. Do let me know in the chat if you are enjoying this and learning from it. It's white to play. This is the sixth position. Yes, I'm enjoying and learning. Yes, a lot of people are enjoying this, Alexander. So thank you so much. Here, I think people are learning as well a lot.
Nice to hear. So let's concentrate.
White to play.
Try to prioritize your thinking process. Yeah, there are some motives. Try to feel what move you should try to make work here. What is the most strict, the most ambitious move here?
Suddenly,
One move,
everyone's
one move
writing.
is insufficient. Again, one move is insufficient.
Yeah.
We have, okay, most of young players are very sharp. They can spot ideas, but the problem that, yes, you are missing discipline of calculation. That's why you should learn to calculate with great discipline. So you should learn to organize your thinking process. Otherwise, you will be missing opponents or defensive and counter-attacking resources. Okay, let's see. Actually, here. Okay, I see. So Nisha, more carefully with candidate moves. Okay. Okay, mostly we calculate forcing line, but we don't see that line is not forcing.
Actually, I was amazed. Yeah, like this one because can we go through the first move, which is what most of the people have said.
Yeah. So the most tempting, the most ambitious is definitely knight g7. Why? Because okay, first of all, we are crushing opponent's king shelter, right? And elimination of the g pawn is a very, very important typical pattern. So I just realized that elimination of the g pawn is actually the most typical pattern about destroying opponent's king shelter, because this is the most important pawn around the king, right? If you eliminate pawn f7, okay, the pawn structure is still quite solid. We eliminate pawn h7, pawns g and f are still quite solid. When we eliminate pawn g, we create so many positional weaknesses and so many tactical motives. The opponent's king is going to be weak for the rest of the game as far as the queens are on the board, right? 95, this is what most of people calculated. And after queen d5, which what you calculated, queen g4, king f8, and another fish born. Another fish born. Bishop on f6, lack of communications, mate is coming. Yeah. Why the mate is coming? Because of lack of communications, black is unable to bring his pieces. f7 pawn restricts opponent's pieces. There is no queen f7, so just in most of cases the game is over, right? But never recapture automatically. So learn to calculate with great discipline. Bishop d8 is the move most of you missed.
Beautiful.
And actually here, this is only, yes, this is the easiest part. Now, the most difficult part, we need to evaluate the position. What is this position, right? Because you sacrifice the piece for 2 pawns, and we need to evaluate, right? And this is probably the most difficult part of attacking chess, evaluation. We can calculate simple forcing lines, but when the line is not forced, yeah, we are not feeling so confident to sacrifice pieces for our long-term initiative, right?
Right.
So we understand those sacrifices. When we sacrifice, we get back material with benefit, right? It is not even sacrifice. Real sacrifice when you can sacrifice for long-term initiative. And this is actually sacrifice, right? Let's see how the game is developing. Queen h5. So
Beautiful move.
bringing the queen with a temper. h6 is only move. Queen g5 is a huge threat. And that's maybe one of the most attractive moments now.
Guys, white
White
to
to
play.
play.
What
White
do
to
you do?
play.
This is something from which you all can learn a lot. White to move. What do you play here?
This is really advanced, of course.
Sakar Chess says even King G7 first move was not forced.
No, it was forced.
Queen H3, Knight G4, but maybe it doesn't
But
work.
f3 is there. We can renew communications. A queen. Wait, queen was on d1 or on e2.
E2.
Or down it soon doesn't work. Okay, let's see. Yeah, queen was on e2, so bishop d8. Actually, when we have, what is really important to understand about this position, we have really a long-term initiative. Why? Because for a piece we have already 2 pawns, and we have lots of positional factors. So first of all, we have opponent's king is extremely weak, and it is a long-term factor, right? So, and also white's pieces are much more active, and if we use prophylactical thinking, we can understand that there is no way for black to consolidate quickly, which means we can develop our attack by positional means. And the move which was played in the game is very nice and very beautiful, which is the principle of war's piece, right? You should try to use the energy of all your pieces. Rook f2 d1 was played.
Wow.
Just positional move.
Is this an idea like rook lift?
Yeah, one of the ideas. There is one more idea. We will see why. For example, a takes b, for example. And I will help you. Knight f4 is the best move here. What is the point? Queen e7. And now we play queen f5.
Wow.
And look at wonderful coordination of the pieces. And what is the point of playing rook f2 d1? I hope you understand now. So how can we get the decisive superiority in force? Firstly, we should improve our pieces. Secondly, we should eliminate opponent's defenders, right? And here, the simple move, which you can easily find, eliminate opponent's key defenders, right? Rook d8, right? I guess very simple move. And bishop f6. And time to resign, yeah. So, let's see what happened in the game. In the game, he played king h7. And what can we do? Yeah.
He just took.
Yeah, don't, again, very typical mistake. Young players don't care about opponents' ideas and would blunder queen very often, yeah? King h7 is not only defensive move, it is counter-attacking move. So bishop f6 was played. Tempo, yeah? This exchange allows us to create very beautiful fork. And that's a nice move as well. Knight a5 is unprotected piece, and white is getting even material advantage already. So let's see. It's actually very beautiful. And okay, a little moment, right? This is a very important situation to understand. We have not discussed today yet. Our far advanced pass pawn can be a tactical motive in opponent's camp, right? Our far advanced pass pawn is a source of numerous tricks. And yes, we found rook c8 in time to resign. So, I guess very nice game. Yes, from which we can learn a few very important typical patterns, like elimination of the g pawn, involving opponent's king into play, Lack of communication, some bishop on f6, you remember, right? So also we said that calculate with great discipline, and you should be able to find bishop d8. And the most advanced part is that sometimes you can sacrifice material for long-term initiative, and this is the most difficult part of attacking chess, when you need to evaluate and understand that you have long-term initiative, and you can afford developing attack slowly, right?
Right.
And this is very, yeah, but pay attention. Elimination of the G pawn, so weakens the king for the rest of the game. Yeah.
Right.
Next position,
Oof. This
black to
one
move.
is black to move, guys, not white to move. What do you do here as black?
So the most important thing here is to understand what happened in this game so far. The last move was play g4 here, right? And try to understand what is move g4 here. What is this typical situation? What is this typical situation?
Pawn storm, yeah? G5.
Kind of, yeah, but I guess what do we know about this typical situation, right?
Uh-huh.
If you can write the general principle, right? Yes, I see. Pranay, well done.
Is Pranay
Mukund,
your student as well?
yes, yeah, Mukund.
Mukund.
Mukund, what should be done in this situation? So, oh, Javi, well done. Dhruva, well done. It is very, okay, position is complex, but typical situation should be familiar for you, right? We might not be able to calculate complex lines and understand all the nuances, but we should understand. We should understand in order to at least think in the right direction. So what shall we do in this position?
Break in
Actually,
the
many
center.
people said that white is going for a flank attack, right?
Yes.
When you go for a flank attack, right, you should be careful, especially when you pushed your pawns in same castling middle game, weakening your king, right? You weaken your king, and you should before going for such responsible decisions, you should evaluate the position in the center. Because if the center is not stable, then your opponent would counter in the center. And so the move we should try to make work is move d5. But before playing move d5, we can even improve the line. That's move g6 was played, forcing the white queen to retreat to unfortunate h3 square. So, and now d5. Let's see, this is great classical game. And you should, so if you play Sicilian, I guess most of you play open Sicilian. Any variation, neither. So Scheveningen, Khan, whatever. It's so typical, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the most amazing classical games I have seen in open Sicilian. Counter in the center. We have two great bishops. We should try to open the position. And we should try to open the position because white's king is very weak, right? Let's see what happened in the game. d5, f6 are capture. And what to do now?
Nice one. It's black to play here, guys. What do you do? Also, I love how this bishop is staring across the board at the white king.
Yeah, the fianchetto bishop in open Sicilian is the greatest piece, I guess, because it is controlling very important central squares d5 and e4,
You know,
right?
Alexander, after the game of that knight g5 in the opening, everyone's just completely into the position to play e4.
That's the right intuition. Let's see. Okay, we don't have much time. e4. So let's see. Knight e4, I guess, was played, right?
Knight e4, there's bishop d5.
Bishop d5. And
So
just we are. Yeah, this is, I guess, very nice. Let's see. Capture, capture. Actually, there was a beautiful line. Wait, there was a beautiful line with exchange sacrifice. Okay, maybe not very
yeah.
important.
Here, ed5.
Yeah, let's have a look quickly. e4. That would be the most stubborn, I guess. If wait, yeah, just capture, capture, and now black to play. And
What do you do?
I guess yes. Or if you have good sense of initiative, it should be a piece of cake, right? Dynamic play is a lot about relative value of pieces, right? You should feel that in some positions, right, our bishop on open diagonal can be at least not weaker than a rook. And so rook e4 here. I see many of you played. Bishop d5, this. Queen c2, and white is a exchange up. But in fact, black has a good advantage here. Queen
Excellent
f4,
position.
like a very dangerous position. So probably it would be the best for white, but still. Let's see the game. The game, it was much simpler, actually.
e4, as promised. Bishop e4, knight e, rook e4, rook e4, knight e4, bishop
Yeah,
e5.
but now just almost for free, right? Just for one pawn. And yeah, so the bishops are dominating. The white king is extremely weak, and the game is done practically here. Just so many weaknesses, and the black pieces would penetrate. Okay, we don't need to calculate lines to sacrifice pawns like this, right? I hope it is clear. It is a huge long-term initiative, and this is what a position. He resigned here.
Everything is pinned.
Everything is pinned. I don't. Maybe it's kind of zugzwang, by the way. Here, no. At least h5 move is there. Okay, let's play h5. Okay, try to find the way. h5, trying to create counter, right?
Okay, once again, just h5.
Yeah. Okay. So how to finish off the game here?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Because there is some chance for counter, right?
There's a nice... okay, you can just finish it.
But actually, it's complex. Yeah?
Actually, people are saying just bishop f2, and I think that seems to win, right? Bishop f2, queen
Yeah, but we
f2,
should wait. We should calculate h take g.
and fg.
Never capture automatically, right?
But fg?
Bishop, queen c7. And who is winning? I don't know.
Oh.
A king g5 at the end. Oh no, but queen b7 is there. But queen b7, bishop e1 even. No, it's no. It's very complex. Okay, let's calculate.
Then how about this move g5?
Yeah, beautiful. I love this type of moves. Fantastic. Yeah.
Because
And
if
g4
queen
is a threat.
g5, this is hanging.
Yeah, this is no counterplay. No counter. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah,
Queen g4, queen f2, or
yeah. This would have been very beautiful, by the way. Yeah, but he resigned after bishop c5. White is completely paralyzed. But again, a very important lesson: never get relaxed in winning positions. Yeah, stay focused till the very end, because you play bishop f2, h takes g, the game is becoming very complex, and especially in time trouble, you can make a mistake, right? But g5 is a beautiful
Also,
move.
this
No,
should win, right? Take.
no, this is yeah, probably, but we need to calculate this pawn endgame, yeah,
G,
because
king,
he can create.
G6.
Yeah, I saw this.
He can create a passer from the other
No, this
side.
is very unclear,
This
right?
might not even win. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, this is lost actually.
This not to go here. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, what is this game about? Obviously, the game is very complex, but it's very clear strategically. The game illustrates one of the most important general principles, yeah? So when going for a flank attack, you should evaluate the position in the center, right? Advantage in the center, or at least very stable center, can be good positional ground for attack, for an attack, for successful attack. But if you go for an attack and the center is unstable, be careful and always check your opponent's counter in the center, right? Or move d5 is a great move. Sorry, it was a perfect counter attack, yeah, by Polgaevsky.
Right.
So in the final position, it's a big test. So big test.
Black to play, yes, or white to play?
So yeah, black to play, and the destiny of our today's prices a lot depends on this position. So, but don't use the engine. Don't use the engine, please.
Yes, guys. Please try to think on your own. You can do it. Wow, it's such a complicated position, and I think in such position, very difficult to figure out what's the right way.
Yes.
Guys, please try to think what would you do here with black. And as you can see, the speed of the chat has reduced considerably because the position is quite tough.
And there are no points for one move, of course. Oh my god, I see someone found. Oh, Arnav Agrawal.
Oh.
I know ABC.
Do you know Arnav Agarwal? Is he your
Uh,
student?
no, no, I
Because
know. I'm Arnav.
Arnav is someone who gives the right answer in almost all our live streams, like in Prague and wherever we were. So he's like very talented, I think.
Okay. So please, if you finished with this position, then count your points. Surprisingly, you're doing much better than many top grandmasters. This is very surprising to me. I gave this position to many international masters, grandmasters. Very few were so quick.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. I hope you are not using the engine.
I hope. Oh my god, so many people found. You're doing much better than my international masters. Fantastic.
I don't know. It's 2200 feet. Okay, got it.
Okay. Okay, let's discuss. My question: what are the tactical motives in White's camp in this position? So, because if you cannot find them, you should look for motives. Because if you don't see motives, you wouldn't be able to find the solution here.
Mm.
Let's mark tactical motives. King, of course, yeah. Sagar, do it.
Yes.
King, yeah? King is very weak. H2, H1 squares. H1 is a motive because there is only one defender. So, I guess...
The
so,
bishop, yeah?
okay. Wait, it's already very advanced. What is next? There are some unobvious tactical motives for many of you. So, what else? You should see the board very clearly. You should see the geometry of the board.
Hmm.
And if you can find some motives, and this is a new idea we have not discussed yet today. Exposed queen, or the queen that can be attacked, it can be a big tactical motive as well, because like attacking queen can be quite powerful, right? It
Hmm.
is not as powerful as check. It is not as powerful as capture in most of cases, but still, attacking queen, we create a very powerful threat. And actually, in this position, queen h2, king f1, and many of you found the best move, which exploits those tactical motives. So the move is, okay, yeah, very nice geometrical move, which many of you played, rook h5. So knight cannot move because knight h5, queen h1. So, and f5 to be played, otherwise just bishop is going for free. And this is actually the line you should have given, because no one gave f5, I guess, right? And how we can play here? So, right, the little move, rook f5, of course, that's already very simple, right? So just pieces going, and it's practically time to resign. But what is the most surprising about this game? The game was played between Ivanchuk and Swidler.
Wow.
And Ivanchuk and Swidler on the top of their chess career. Swidler couldn't find.
Oh, he didn't find this.
No,
Wow.
they agreed to a draw.
Oh my god.
They agreed to a draw. Probably it was time trouble. They played queen h3, king g1, and agreed to a draw.
Crazy.
That's why when I see you are so quick, I hope you don't use engine. This is my only hope. Otherwise, all this training is useless.
Useless.
So that's what you should understand. That's what you should understand. Please, you can win a prize now, but you would lose a much bigger prize in your life.
Hmm.
Okay. So, because the biggest prize is your valuable wins in official competitions, right? And this is the main point of this training. So please count your points. We had lots of positions. We had 8 games, and I guess in every game there were like, I don't know, maybe around 11, 12 positions for decision making. So count your points. I guess there were around 11, 12 positions. Okay. But honestly, okay. So Sagar, I need your help, because we need to find 2 winners.
Yes.
2 winners.
We have 7 out of 8, 6 out of 8. Wow. 2 wrong, says Dhruva. It's not easy, yeah? Here. I
Oh my God. Pranay, 11 out of 12. Okay, I hope. Okay, so it seems Pranay is leading.
Oh, we also have
Uh,
Pratiti
oh,
Bordoloi.
Venkata Padma, 12 out of 13. Venkata, what is your rating? Just, I'm curious. Venkata. So, because Venkata Padma. Okay, I see. 12 out of 12, some people. Fantastic. How it's possible. Venkata, what is your rating? Please write down.
Nicolo Passini says, fun thing is I'm FM and would probably never see Rook H5 before having it on board and having hours at my disposal.
So,
Very tough question.
Venkata does not.
1857.
Okay, quite good. Okay, I hope you're honest and you get the price. I hope. So please, how you should, yeah, probably it would be good if you contact, right, to me directly. You have contacts are
In the
right behind. So Sagaria, please
yeah,
explain.
it's
You
in the
know better.
description, so you can actually contact Venkata. You can write to Alexander, and you can get
Valuable price. Yeah.
yeah, a valuable prize there. And also, I think Alexander, it's a good time for people to also know that if they are keen, you have two amazing training sessions. It's actually chess course for advanced players.
Yeah. So this is our the flagship breakthrough course for advanced players. That's a huge course that consists of 5 big parts. Every part is a kind of big or separate course, which covers some important area of chess, like dynamic. The secrets of dynamic play starts already on 16th March. So a few days are left, and we have a few seats only. So that's why, if you're interested, so just act now and send me a message so that I can make some presentation and or maybe we can make some group presentation of the course. And by the way, actually we have different packages, so that are of a slightly different value, but you can attend this course with a quite affordable price. So what
So
else?
actually, the online course has 5 key parts, right? It has dynamic play, positional play, endgame, middle game, and calculation.
Yes, and
Wow. And
so every part is a separate course, is a powerful program for 3.5 months.
wow.
It is very systematic and structured. So those 5 parts would cover practically, I guess, 90-80% of chess.
Wow.
And every part is a kind of separate course, and those parts are quite independent. For example, if you feel you like to improve your dynamic play, and what we discussed today, you feel you've learned a lot, but you can improve more, you can learn more advanced concepts, and you can develop practical skills. So then this course is definitely for you. So this course is very systematic and structured, but it is really interactive course. We have voice discussions. We dive deep into every topic. Also, it is quite individual approaches there, because so starting from now, we are going to have individual exam at the very end of every part, so that I would test every student and give my feedback on everybody's progress.
Wow.
Also, we are going to play thematic tournaments on every study topic, thematic tournaments and different positions. So you will get valuable practice as well. So there is, you can see, you're welcome to visit the website, right? There is a link in their stream description. So you can visit a website to learn more information. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome to send a message on WhatsApp or contact us via the website. So we would guide you in terms of their best program and the best package for you personally. Okay.
Amazing. I think there's a
Uh,
WhatsApp number that's given there. So if you write
yeah,
and you say that, okay, this is your strength, what should be the best weight, then maybe Alexander and his team can guide you.
yeah, you can see that we have already lots of results for just many of our students increased like 300, 400, 500 rating points and achieved international master norms. So, and you can be here in this page after some time. So, and also there is a nice motivation. We are going to start the group of future grandmaster for the most successful students of breakthrough course, where I'm going to lead, guide students are in more individual exclusive group
Wow.
to international master and grandmaster titles. But very important thing that we have another part of the course which is called mastering the endgame, and it starts on 29th March. So if you feel that endgame is the weakest part of our the main area of your growth, so you are welcome to join this part. So you will get absolutely the same program with the same uh with the same plan. So uh yeah, that's why regarding, so among my students I would uh reward Pranay Akua, who
Wow.
scored, I guess, lots of points. So I hope you evaluate yourself correctly. So, and please contact me for your price. Yeah. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, I hope you've learned a lot from today's
Oh, it was
class.
just
And
amazing. Yeah. Alexander, there were some great, great positions that you have selected. One of the most amazing things I've always felt when doing these streams with Alexander is his preparation and the content and the positions that are there. It's just so brilliant. I think so many people learnt a lot. And you remember we had done this last time, that if people can write down after the stream ends about what did they enjoy the most, like what did they learn the most from this
I think,
video.
yeah, that's what I usually ask my students. So try to write 3 most valuable points you've learned from this class. Okay. 3 most valuable points for you personally. Okay. So just I recommend you to go or to go through this stream again. I believe you will find many more ideas which are like maybe not at your level, right? So just I believe you can come back to this stream many times and you will learn something more and more every time. That's
Amazing.
why the one of my concepts is that I try to, I try to select games which can be understood on the level of concept by everyone, while of course more advanced students can go deeper, I would say,
Mm.
can go deeper more in details, right? But my programs are designed for 1800, 2300, where I say those courses suit the most for 21, 2300, but even 1800 can learn a lot. So, and so you get access to the platform with 12 months access, so you can come back to this material again and again, and you can learn much, much more from every class. Yeah, this is our just visit their website. You will find many more details about the course. So, and I would be happy to guide you through their program uh, to make a video presentation, a group presentation for those people who is interested to join.
Right. Well, thank you, Alexander, for your time, and thank you all for joining in And I hope that we'll do something very soon. Maybe people won't have to wait 1.5 years for our next stream.
Yeah, I'm always happy to share my experience, my knowledge, and so I I get really excited, yeah, communicating with your audience.
Yeah, they
So
actually. I think today was one of the finest streams with so many people. Like generally, people write one move, but today I saw after a while everyone started writing variations, and a lot of people got very very serious. So thank you, Alexander, for this.
yeah, you're welcome. So I'm very happy and looking forward to the next streams with ChessBase India.
Thank you. And thank you so much, Chess Time, for your super chat. He says, I only saw the last position, a very interesting puzzle. Thanks, Sagar, for conducting these types of instructive live sessions. Thank you all. See you later. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bye.